Great British Beer Festival 2019. Nyt mulla on saatu iso luokan päällikkö tänne paikalle. Christine Cryne, you are a master trainer for the Championship Beer of Britain. So what does that mean? What do you do?
Cameras train me up through a company called People First. So I'm qualified to go and train other people. And our whole idea is to get people who are trained to go and talk to the general public about beer. This week I've been absolutely delighted. I chair the final panel of the Great Beer Festival, and it's always a joy. We always have such great beer, and it's a real pleasure to come and do it. And I still think women's palates are far better than men's.
Tell me a little about tasting culture in beer in England.
Okay, it's an interesting, because the way beer has really changed a lot, like all around the country. I mean, if you go back 15 years in Finland, it was struggling to get any decent beer, and it's true of a lot of other countries. And I think we've helped to lead the way on the more traditional beers, whereas the American culture has been more about those really big high hops. Mm-hmm. So what we have an issue with within CAMRA is trying to ensure that we keep some of our more traditional styles, while embracing some of the new developments that are coming on, whether it's sours, with Gurzes and Lambics or Gozas and all of the new beers, and still say this is our beer and we need to keep this tradition going, because if we don't, nobody else will.
Exactly. How big as a business is beer tasting in England compared to wine?
Very small. One of our biggest challenges is to get people to understand the complexity of beer. And I've done a lot of tastings, and I've had people come up and after said, "Didn't realise beer was so complex." And that's really what we've been trying to get across. So every day this week we've been doing little mini tastings of about 45 minutes to try and showcase people about what the beers are like, and also understanding about how the malt and the hops, the water, and the yeast can impact on the beer quality, on the beer styles. And it's amazing that most people don't even know what the ingredients in beer are, so it's an education for us.
Really? What are we having now?
Okay, this beer is a golden ale, as far as CAMRA's definition is concerned. You can see it's really pale. And what we love about real ale is that, unlike keg beers, which is the majority of the beer that people drink around the world, this beer, all those bubbles are coming from a secondary fermentation. So the yeast is still alive, and it's still eating the sugars in the malt. And so all of those bubbles are all natural. So it's no added carbon dioxide back as a lot of these beers. This particular beer is Vocation. It's called Bread and Butter. It's very light. It's a 3.9% beer, and it's a small brewery that's been only going probably about 4 or 5 years, and it's from Yorkshire. So the way in which we taste, we look at it, and you can see it's lovely. Put your hand over the top, give it a good swill, stick your nose in it. And you're getting those fruity sort of characters coming up. Those are all from American hops. Yeah, so you can smell that it's American hops. And then put it in the palate and give it a good taste around, making sure it gets every single part of the palate. And again, you can pick up that fruitiness. And those are all the American hops that are coming into it. Yeah, really, really fruity. You're getting grapefruit, citrus. But the other thing about it is that it's got a little bit of a sweetness to it. So with a beer like this, they'll use an American yeast, which doesn't give much flavour, and the whole purpose is to showcase the hops. Hence the reason they're using very pale malts, because they don't want much flavour. They're just trying to show, wow, these are the hops, which is what this particular beer is. Very light, only 3.9% alcohol. So a great beer to drink on a day like today. Nice. Cheers. Let's go. So the next beer we have is a traditional best bitter, and this particular beer is from Folkestone, which is down in the south, and in Kent, which is where we grow a lot of hops in the UK. If you look at it, you can see it's darker. It's using both pale malts, but it's using something called crystal malts, which give you that sort of dark amber sort of colour. And again, if you push that around, you see all that lovely carbonation coming up. Very, very clear beer. And I think that looks beautiful. And this is very much in our traditional British style. So again, put your hand over the top, swirl it around, and you notice that the characteristics on the nose is completely different. These are using traditional British hops, and that sort of nutty caramel flavour is coming from the crystal malt, and this is very much in our traditional style. Again, it's quite light in alcohol, it's only 4%, so when you taste it, you're getting nutty sort of toffee character.
The toffee, I don't know.
Yeah. But it's balanced up by the fruitiness. So this beer is probably more complex than the first. Similar in alcohol, but there's a lot more going on because of different malts in there, different fruits. Lots more going to it, and that's what we're looking for in a good best bitter.
Very good.
Yeah. Now what we're going to do is we're going to finish with a beer that was really born in London, and as with the Great British Beer Festival in London, this is very typical. This is a porter. And a porter, for CAMRA's definition, it's got to have lots of roast character, dark like that, but also some hoppy, fruity character. This beer is much stronger. It's a 5.5% beer. So when you look at it, you can see all those dark malts coming out, but put your hand on the top, and you'll get so different characteristics on the nose. Chocolate, coffee, a bit of a licorice often, sometimes a bit of treacle. And often sultanas and raisins, those sort of what they call the caramelised fruits, come out with that. Again, put it in your mouth and the flavour explosion is totally different. Yeah? Wow, yeah, exactly. Well, this is a lot stronger, it's 5.5. You get the fruitiness still,
Fruity
and the
also,
dark, and that's what we're looking for in a good porter. This particular beer is from Patworth, which is in Cambridgeshire, and the actual brewery is called Patworth Brewery. So again, 3 tiny breweries, not very big, all of what we call our micro breweries, 3 different beer styles, and 3 wonderful different colours.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
You're very good at what you do.
Great beer though, absolutely wonderful beer. All 3 of those are lovely, aren't they?
Let's go have some more.
Yeah, absolutely. I think so. Cheers.
Cheers.
You're welcome. But a lot lighter than often the alcohol beers you drink in there.